Aloha interwebs, welcome back to my channel. Thanks for tuning in. Today is Monday, so we're going to do a movie Monday, and I don't know if this is fitting for the day or not, but it's actually Martin Luther King Jr. Day, and today we're going to be talking about Django Unchained. So I finally got a chance to check it out. So let's get into it. Why don't you guys check out part of the trailer first?
The reward.
I'm looking for the Riddle Brothers. However, I don't know what they look like, but you do.
I really like this movie, which was kind of a surprise because I've been pretty either let down or lukewarm about some of the stuff that Quentin Tarantino's put out as a director since, like, Pulp Fiction. I mean, and that's saying a lot because I really liked the Kill Bill movies, and I really liked Inglourious Bastards, and I even to a certain extent liked Death Proof. I thought that was pretty cool, but they still, I don't know, there was something about Pulp Fiction that everything came together, and for some reason, whether it was sick or not, it made sense. And nothing that he's done so far has kind of had that kind of continuity, especially when you get to the end and there's something that kind of had brought it all together. I didn't feel that pretty much in anything since Pulp Fiction, but this movie I really liked, and I think it might have something to do with it. It's actually shot fairly traditional for Quentin Tarantino. There are a lot of flashbacks, but the movie is done pretty linear. It starts at the beginning, ends at the end, and then you have flashbacks in between, where it's like, you know, Pulp Fiction and other movies that he's done where you jump around quite a bit. All of the acting in it is pretty top notch for what it is. It's a very sick and wrong version of a spaghetti western. Very bloody gunfights and things of that nature. Very again, like for I didn't plan it this way. It just happened to be when I saw it for Martin Luther King Jr. birthday kind of thing. The very overt racial tone in the movie. On the one hand, you know, it's a period film. It was shot in a time when, you know, there were slaves in this country, and shot in a part of the country where it was very in your face. So I think that part of the movie rings true, but again, it's still somewhat of like a fantasy type, fantastical spaghetti western. So in some ways, you know, the tone and the attitude of the film can be very real, very raunchy, and I know it can be very basically offensive to a lot of people. But for me as a moviegoer, dealing with a movie in certain time periods, sometimes, you know, that they weren't politically correct back then, and to make a movie in this time period about this particular kind of story, yeah, that kind of racially driven, you know, racial negativity is going to shine through in the movie. So although the N-word is thrown around quite a bit in this movie, I still think the movie was shot well, and I think the screenplay was done very well as well, and the acting in it was pretty good. I don't normally like Jamie Foxx in dramatic or even action roles, even though he very easily falls into that or can fill that type of role. He's a buff guy. He's very physical. His features and his facial expressions lend to that, you know, kind of rugged anti-hero really well. But I knew him first from things like In Living Color back in, you know, the 90s and the 80s, when you know, he was doing stand-up, and he was just this funny guy, and so sometimes it's still hard for me to see him in things other than that role. But I think he did a really good job in this movie. Very convincing, melodramatic when needed, and very on point with his attitude throughout the whole thing. Also, Christopher Waltz in this movie as the bounty hunting doctor, just hilarious. It's a combination of his body language, his facial expression, and then just his diction and the way that he pronounces things and makes statements, and it's just acted very well, this character, and he's fitting in it for sure. I really enjoyed listening to him, listening to his character, especially the way he explains how and why he just did what he did, even if it's killing somebody. I just think that this character is done really well through him. So
what did you say, boy?
It was entertaining to watch. The movie was a bit on the long side, but the one good thing is that you kind of get right into it. The movie starts off with beginning of the plot, the characters coming together, figuring out what their common goal is, and then seeing that goal through the end. So there wasn't a lot of setup in the beginning of the movie where you get introduced to the characters over long drawn out periods of time, and then all of a sudden they come to the plot point and get it done. It's pretty much from the beginning. You hear the people, people start dying, and it didn't seem like it took as long as it actually did. So I was actually pretty much ready for more. By the time I could tell that the movie was going to start coming to the climactic end, and I was like, oh man, I kind of hope he kills some more people. I don't know how you get to the end of this movie and think that there's probably some more shooting that needs to happen, but I kind of felt that way. Overall, it was a pretty cool movie. I'm really glad I saw it. Sorry that it took me so long to get around to this one, but you know, the baby on board, it's kind of hard to figure out where I'm going to get to see new stuff. So it was a fun movie. I enjoyed it. Quentin Tarantino has been known to make a certain kind of movie, no matter what real genre it's in. You know, it's going to be bloody, it's going to be racial, it's going to have, you know, certain kind of humor in it, and certain kinds of action. He's been known for it, so you kind of already know whether or not you're going to enjoy this kind of movie, you know, going into it. So if you already know whether or not you're going to want to go see this movie, I'm telling you, you're probably going to like it, but that's only if you like, you know, you've liked previous Quentin Tarantino movies. So you already kind of know ahead of time whether or not you're going to enjoy this kind of movie or not. And I highly recommend it because I'm an action junkie and I like those kinds of movies. So Django Unchained, definitely worth checking out. I enjoyed it, and I think you'll have a good time. So go out there, check it out. Prove me wrong. Leave a comment in the box below the video player. Thanks for stopping by the channel, interwebs. I appreciate you coming by. Peace out. Don't forget to subscribe. We'll catch you guys at the next video. Django Unchained. Well, Django Unchained, because the D is silent. I like that line for some reason. That is like one of the I don't know why, it's one of the coolest lines. I saw it in the trailer and I was like, that's funny. I can't wait to see this movie. But I put it up there with, you know, Wesley Snipes' Passenger 57 line, always bet on black.